Good morning. Most dearly to the visionary Poju Oyemade and the Covenant Center for the boldness, for the courage, for the clarity of purpose that has led the platform to become Nigeria's most influential festival of ideas. I am amazed, I am impressed by the gathering this morning. I am almost intimidated, and that is a very rare thing. I am certainly inspired. Thank you for inviting me, Pastor Poch. I am here with a message for my countrymen and women. And my heart is warmed up and fired up. And as someone we're familiar with would say, fired up, ready to go. So let's get right into it. You see, we as Nigerians have become very good at managing. We just manage. We have become extremely good at it. And no one should blame us. Because to be honest, we have believed and believed so many times. And we have been disappointed so many times. We have invested hopes and dreams in people. We have gone on strike several times. We have marched on the streets on several occasions. We have shut down this country on many occasions, and yet we have been disappointed sorely. So we have learned to lower our expectations. And this is what Pastor Poju opened with. We have learned to lower our expectations. We have learned to dream in black and white when the rest of the world is dreaming in color. We have learned that we don't deserve nice things, that the things we truly want are not really possible. We have tried too many times and failed too many times that we believe that the problem is that we are actually trying too hard. Let's just manage what we have. Let's manage the recovery of 165 girls. It is impossible to get back all the 265. Let's manage a president who is not personally corrupt. It could have been worse. Let's manage the governor that promises a few flyovers, but chases poor people out of our cities as if they are not human beings. That's the cost. That's the cost of development. Let's pretend that 60% of our federal revenue is not going to maintaining just 1 million people. After all, they haven't killed anyone. Let's manage the one we have, we tell ourselves, because we can't really get what we truly want. We are always very angry about many of our leaders. They take us for a ride. They jump out of police vehicles to mock our justice system. They insult our youth, calling them lazy. They call our youth lazy, but they spend more time in hospital than in their duty post. They insult our intelligence, claiming that they are fighting corruption. We are angry at them because they steal our agency and they steal our hopes. They steal our capacity to imagine. But do you know something? Do you know something? These leaders are laughing. They laugh. Why are they laughing? They are laughing because they know that no matter how angry we are, they are almost certain that nothing will change. They are sure because they know that in their heart of hearts and in our heart of hearts, we truly don't believe that Nigeria will change. They think we don't believe it. We are condemned by our conviction that this is how things will always be. These guys think this way. And so for them, the party will never be over. When I chose to run for the highest office in Nigeria, the presidency, I knew that this was my primary challenge. This manage it syndrome. An attitude that is simply sadness. We are sad, but we mask our sadness as worldly wisdom and cynicism. That way we appear to be sage, we appear to be wise, but we are just truly sad. How do you convince people to believe the only one thing that has ever been true in the history of humanity? That there is no force more powerful than a people who have decided that enough is truly enough. There is no more powerful force on earth than a people who have decided that we have had enough. We should have had enough by now. And I say that that's what I thought was my primary task when I decided to contest for the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We have done it before. In 2011, we elected a president from a minority ethnic group. Nobody thought it was possible. In 2015, an incumbent president was defeated. The opposition came to power in a country where we believe that those who are in power can never be removed from it, except they die or they choose to leave. It has happened before. Over the past few months, I have been going around Nigeria. I've gone to Benue. I've gone to Kano. I've gone to Nnewi. I've gone to Abeokuta and so many other places, talking to Nigerians to listen very carefully. And this is what I have heard. And I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. Nothing, absolutely nothing, is stopping us from getting the exact kind of leadership that we want. Nothing. Nothing. We are ready. We are able. We are clear. We just don't believe that it can happen. We just don't believe that it is possible to get the kind of leadership we so desperately need in this country. That's what I heard in Kano. That's what I heard in Makurdi. That's what I heard in Ilorin. That's what I heard in Onitsha. That's what I heard in Oron. That's what I heard in Abeokuta. That's what I heard when I spoke to the young men who believe that there is no hope for Nigeria. And they must follow a man who promises them freedom if only they break away from this giant disappointment. They just don't believe it's possible. The platform speaks to the core of the Nigerian professional and elite class and the youth. And I have a message from the streets of Nigeria to you, that people desperately want a leadership that can deliver results for our economy. But they want someone who can convince them that they are not wasting their time, that they are not wasting their emotions. And they want to know that there are enough people like them across the country who will stand up to make it happen when the election season comes. Nigerians are not stupid, though. They know their problems. They know that it is not those who claim to be in APC today and in the PDP tomorrow. I know this because I have spoken to them, because I have listened to them. I have tried to understand why those before me have failed and why it appears as if we don't know what we are doing. And so I have come to you with the same message that I have given these Nigerians wherever I have met them and spoken to them and listened to them. And that message is this: it is possible. It can happen. We need just 10 million people who believe this. Just 10 million. Give me 10 million people who believe that it is possible. Give me 10 million people who believe it can happen. Across this country, that's what we need. Just 10 million people who are ready and willing to take the risk, to open up their hearts, to put in the work. We need just 10 million people to make a difference today. That's the job. That's the job I have given myself. How do we find these Nigerians? How do we remind them that it is possible? And how do we get them to follow their hearts when election day comes? How do I get us to believe what I know for sure in my heart as I stand here before you today? That we can disgrace those who think that they own Nigeria. We can disgrace those who are the sharers of our national cake. Those who believe that they are the custodians of the limits of our possibilities. We can disgrace them. We can send them into retirement that they have refused to go, although they are long overdue. Let us send the recycled politicians politely back to their villages. Are we not ashamed of what we manage? Are we not ashamed of the leaders that we have in this country? Are you billionaires not tired of a country that you have to explain and defend at the World Economic Forum? Are you young leaders not fed up with the embarrassment of a country that you have to keep explaining on Twitter, at global conferences, at global fora? You are, and I am. And so, this is my invitation to you. Join me in shocking this system. Join me in shaking this system to its very foundations. Join me in proving to ourselves that this thing that we have been saying for decades is possible. We need only 10 million people who believe in their hearts, with their votes, with their money, with their stepping into the streets to convince others to join them and vote. How do we do this? We start with just one number, just one. Find one. One person. Could be a friend, it could be your security guard, it could be the woman who sells fruit around the corner, it could be your work colleague. And tell them the truth about where Nigeria will be if they choose to vote against the status quo. The north of Nigeria can truly be like Dubai. The west can be like Germany. The southeast can be like Taiwan. The south-south can be like Norway. That is possible. Find one person and persuade them to be at the polls in February 2019. Be their polling body. Make sure they have their voter's card. Make sure they are aware of the issues and what is at stake. Then help them to be a polling body to someone else. In this country, our network is our most powerful marketing tool. So, it's time for us to use it. It's time for us to use it to become the +1 movement. It's very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Start with one. To join our 10 million movement, find us on social media. Find us via @+1morevote. @+1morevote. So that you can join our cell groups and our volunteer army at #+1morevote. 1 in numericals across Nigeria. Because this is not a campaign platform, I will not go into details on the pillars of my plan for rebuilding our country. You can find that on our website, www.tobuildanation.com. www.tobuildanation.com. You can find it in my book, Build, Innovate, and Grow. BIG for short. So, my mission here today is to insist that you must believe that what you think impossible is in fact possible. My mission here today is to ask you to ignore those who tell you that you are wasting your vote, who tell you that things cannot change, who tell you about the structure of the big politicians, who tell you about the war chest of the big politicians. Someone asked me on national television, what has gotten into you? A fine man like you decided to run for president. What's wrong? And I said, nothing is wrong. I just love my country. My heart bleeds for what's going on in this country. I could be doing something else. And I have been doing other things. But I can bear it no longer. I can't sleep well at night. In my own personal success, it's not enough. My personal success is not enough. I don't want to be that big man who is in the 4x4, drowning in the potholes, chatting away on the cell phone to pretend I am not inside the potholes. That's what we have in Nigeria. We grow rich, we grow successful, and we forget the common man. We forget the average citizen. In fact, our political class, our recycled political class, whom we must overthrow in a democratic revolution at the ballot box come 2019, all they exist for, the reason they exist, is to make sure that our people remain poor. So that when we ride past in our big Jeeps and Land Cruisers, the people will be waving at us and their heart swells with pride. What a perversion of leadership. What a perversion of politics. Some people say, he would be good as president of our country, but will they allow him? They. So, will they allow him? So the question I ask, who is they? They is all of us, me and you. If we decide that it is possible, if we wake up from our slumber, it will happen. They only get to win if they win the battle over your heart and your mind. They claim to have extensive structure that no one else can beat. I have gone around this country. I have seen those structures. Those structures are human beings. Human beings like me and you at the ward level, at the state level, at the community level. We are building an alternative structure that will beat that structure. We need you to believe that the time has come. It is time. It is time to deliver Nigeria from dinosaurocracy. Politics of dinosaurs, for dinosaurs, by dinosaurs. These dinosaurs have infected Nigerian society with ideas and attitudes that have long since been discredited. Our choice as a people is stark today as it has ever been. We have a choice between dinosaurs and deliverance. We have a choice between dinosaurs and deliverance. If we continue to be led by these dinosaurs and the people they endorse, the sunlight of our hopes for Nigeria will continue to be blotted out by the dark clouds of incompetence, corruption, economic illiteracy, and primitive tribalism. That's not what we want. It is time for all of you who are tired, like I am tired, it is time to make things happen. It is time for action. Time to pump fresh ideas into solving our problems. It is time to drive the point home that Nigeria is nothing without its people. And the people need to come first from now on. It is time to shake the table of Nigeria's current political class. It is time for us to get off the sidelines and come together as one to change the course of our history and our nation. There is no need staying in different camps if we can come together to shake up this system. If you're not one of those benefiting directly from this nyama-nyama version of Nigeria, then it is safe to say that you are one of those whose future is being mortgaged. Our time has finally come, ladies and gentlemen. Let us shock these dinosaurs with our resolve and our collective capacity. Let us take Nigeria back from those who believe that it belongs to them and their children. Let us be proud of Nigeria once and for all. And you better stop telling yourself that it cannot be done. God bless Nigeria. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Thank you. Thank you.